In the gray, forgotten village of Hollow Creek, there lived a boy named Milo who hated the rain. He hated the rain because his roof leaked. He hated the wind because his coat was thin. But most of all, he hated the grayness of his life. Everything in Milo's world was cracked, stained, and broken. The only bright thing in his life was Nana, the old woman who had taken him in when his parents passed away. But even Nana was part of the gray. Her hands were rough from scrubbing floors, her apron was patched with mismatched fabric, and the soup she served him every night was thin and watery. One evening, as the cold rain drummed against the rotting wood of their shack, Milo pushed his bowl away. He didn't want watery soup, he wanted a feast. He didn't want a leaky roof, he wanted a palace. Filled with bitterness, Milo ran out of the house, ignoring Nana's call. He ran until his lungs burned, seeking shelter in a cave deep within the forest. There, glowing faintly in the dust, he found it. It was a paintbrush, but not an ordinary one. The handle was carved from shimmering pearl, and the bristles looked like they were spun from sunlight. Milo picked it up. His hand trembled. Without thinking, he brushed the tip against the damp, dirty cave wall. A splash of gold paint appeared, but as he watched, the gold shifted. It bubbled and hardened. He reached out and touched it. It was real, solid gold. His heart raced. He looked at a puddle of muddy water near his feet. He dipped the brush into the air, and with a single stroke, he painted over the puddle. It vanished, not just covered up, erased, gone from existence. Milo understood immediately. This brush could create perfection, and it could erase the ugly truth. He ran back to the village under the cover of night. He felt like a king in disguise. He started small. He saw a pothole in the street and painted a smooth marble slab over it. The hole was gone. He saw a rat scurrying near the bakery and painted over it. Silence. The power was intoxicating. He looked down at his own ragged clothes. With broad, sweeping strokes, he painted over the patches and the dirt. In their place, he painted velvet robes of deep crimson and boots of soft leather. Then he turned to his house, the shack where Nana was sleeping. He saw the peeling paint, the sagging porch, the ugliness of his poverty. He wanted to give Nana a surprise. He wanted to give her the life she deserved. Milo dipped the brush into the moonlight and began to paint. He didn't just fix the house, he erased it completely. In its place, he painted a towering mansion of gold and glass, with towers that scraped the stars. He painted a garden with flowers that never wilted. He painted a sun that would hang in the sky even at midnight, banishing the cold rain forever. When he was finished, Hollow Creek was gone. In its place stood the Golden Kingdom. It was perfect. It was flawless. It was silent. Milo burst through the massive golden doors of his new palace. He waited for the smell of thin soup or the sound of Nana's humming, but the hallways echoed with nothing but his own footsteps. He ran to the dining room upstairs. The table was set with a feast that never grew cold, but no one was there to eat it. He ran to the bedroom upstairs, the one he had designed just for Nana, with silk sheets and diamond windows. The bed was empty. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced his heart. He ran through the golden hall, shouting her name. "Nana! Nana, look! I fixed it! I fixed everything!" He stopped in front of a mirror that reflected his perfect velvet robes, and then he realized what he had done. When he painted over the old house, he hadn't just changed the walls. He had erased everything inside of it. The leaky roof was gone, the cold drafts were gone, and Nana Nana was gone. Milo fell to his knees. He grabbed the brush. His hands were shaking violently now. "I'll bring her back," he whispered. "I can paint anything." He began to paint furiously on the smooth golden floor. He painted Nana's face. He painted her kind eyes, her messy hair, her patched apron. The painting was a masterpiece. It looked exactly like her. He stepped back, waiting for her to breathe, waiting for her to smile. But the painting remained just paint. The brush fell from his hand. It could create gold and castles and silk. It could create things, but it could not create life. It could not paint a soul. Suddenly, the air in the palace grew heavy. He tried to take a deep breath, but the air felt stale. He realized that when he erased the wind and the rain, he had stopped the world from moving. The golden flowers in the garden were hard as stone. The birds he had painted in the sky were frozen in place. His paradise was not a kingdom. It was a cage, a beautiful golden coffin. He looked at the brush. The bristles were dimming. The magic was running out. The tip was dry, save for a single tiny drop of ink. Milo looked around at his perfect world. He could stay here forever. He would never be cold. He would never be hungry. He would be a king. But he would be alone. Tears streamed down his face, dripping on the flawless floor. He looked at the single drop of ink left on the brush. He had one stroke left, one choice. He gripped the handle. He didn't try to paint Nana again. He didn't try to paint a door. Milo screamed, a sound of pure grief, and stabbed the brush into the center of the perfect golden wall. He didn't paint something beautiful. He painted a jagged, ugly black crack. The magic sparked. The crack hissed and began to spread. It spiderwebbed across the floor, up the pillars, and through the diamond windows. The golden roof exploded into dust. The velvet robes dissolved into rags. And then a cold, wet drop hit Milo's cheek. Rain. He opened his eyes. He was lying in the mud. The wind was howling. The magnificent palace was gone. And standing in front of him was a crooked, rotting, ugly little shack with a peeling front door. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. The door creaked open. There, holding a candle against the darkness, stood Nana. She looked tired. Her apron was dirty. She looked out into the storm, squinting. "Milo?"
Hello?
she called out softly.
inside,
"Come inside, child. The soup is getting cold." Milo scrambled up from the mud. He didn't care about his wet shoes. He didn't care about the cold. He ran to her and buried his face in her rough, patched apron, sobbing uncontrollably. Nana was startled, but she wrapped his arms around him, holding him tight. She didn't smell like perfume or gold. She smelled like old soap and rainwater. Milo looked over her shoulder. The magic brush lay in a puddle of mud. Its glow was gone. It was just a stick of wood now. He let it lie there. He turned around and followed Nana into the crooked house, closing the door against the storm, grateful, truly grateful, for the beautiful, broken life he had almost painted away.